This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today from Miami is Oliver Friesen, the CEO of Guardian Metal Resources. Hi, Oliver. Thank you for your time. First of all, what are you doing in Miami?
Yeah, good question. So we finished the site visit over the weekend. That was in Nevada, and we are attending. Myself and our chairman JT Starzecki are attending Mines and Money this Thursday, Friday. So I have quite a few meetings lined up today, tomorrow, and then Thursday, Friday will be very, very busy. So figured do it all in one go and make it kind of one big US trip, which has been really good so far.
Okay, good. And good in that order as well, because you can have conversations with investors from what you've been seeing on site. But let's get a bit of a heads up, if we can, from for our audience here. What it was like on site. You visited both Pilot Mountain and Tempiute. So what did you do there? What did you achieve?
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant site visit, really. Really, really exciting. It was kind of the first time we've had members of the board, so myself and our chairman, along with our engineering team on site to visit the guys actually, running the drill and managing things in country and in state. So, we started at Pilot Mountain, spent some time there looking at core, looking at this new breccia, copper breccia zone that we've discovered. Quite a bit of time on site, walking the ground, looking at where key bits of infrastructure will best be. So, I mean, that was fantastic. The drill was running. We were pulling out core on site, looking at, the kind of the mineralized skarn that we're drilling, which was really exciting. Weather was fantastic during the whole trip. There's been almost no snow on the ground in Nevada this whole winter, which is, I think, really just highlights how great Nevada is as a jurisdiction. And then we made our way down to Tempiute, which is our new acquisition, and got the team on site there. And they were blown away. And we can talk more about what we saw there at Tempiute, but that's probably an understatement almost, that they were blown away. But it was great to see the excitement and energy from the team, realizing the quality of the asset Tempiute is, and then sitting down and saying, okay, how do we push this forward now? So really, really great site visit. And now I can go talk to investors, to government here in Florida, show them photos on my phone, talk about what we've just seen and how we can all work together to really to solve this reshoring problem that the U.S. has. I mean, the U.S. needs domestic sources of tungsten now more than ever, and we are in a position to help solve that.
Okay, good. Well, every time we talk, I always sort of ask you the same question. The drilling continues at Pilot Mountain, and again, it's just continuing on. So this site visit was really tied into Mines and Money here, but it's almost like a check everything's going on, all the team coming together, and almost like a recce as well, really help you think ahead at Pilot Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, it was really the main reason was to get the engineers on site. And to walk the ground with them. We're at the point now where we're looking at where key bits of infrastructure are going to go for the PFS. You look at the tailings impoundment and the mill site. Where is that all going to sit? So it's really important actually just to walk the ground. And even on site, we were looking at areas and going, that's actually not going to work, which was what was outlined or thought of previously. That area is actually going to be a lot better, and your costs are going to go down accordingly. So really, really impactful. We're doing things real time, looking at moving things around, but more, also looking at the core, and then also getting eyes on the breccia zone. It was the first time I've seen it in person, to see those rocks and actually walk the ground was really impactful. And that's an absolutely outstanding drill target that we want to get to. As you mentioned, we're drilling right now. That is for the resource upgrade and for the PFS. But we want to go and drill. We've permitted holes at Garnet now. So we went to Garnet and walked around there, and there's some fantastic outcrops there at the Garnet zone. Gunmetal's an area we want to eventually drill as well, and then the Porphyry South zone. So I think that really highlights the quality of this asset. There's a lot of assets that I know of that we don't own, but I'd be hard pressed to find a few good drill targets there to go after. But there's a long list, that almost never ending list of areas that I'd love to drill if I could at Pilot Mountain, which is obviously, a good problem to have at the end of the day.
Indeed. And at Tempiute then, so what have you come away with the thinking of how you're going to progress this forward?
Yeah, I mean, it was it was quite encouraging to see the reaction from the team at Tempiute. I mean, Tempiute's one that I walked and I went and saw, and the teams that did the due diligence went and saw the property as well. But to get the engineers and members of the board on site, I mean, even, and this is probably a reflection on the job I've done, but even members of our internal team are going, wait a second, this is way better than we thought it was, which means that maybe I need to talk about the story more. I mean, granted, we just kind of closed the acquisition about 2 weeks ago, but to see that level of enthusiasm and excitement about this asset going, to replace that is going to cost X. To replace that, I mean, our engineers are real time going, oh, wow, like to replace that, it's going to cost you X. Replace that's going to cost you X. And more importantly, we're looking at this mineralized zone at surface and going, wow, this is some serious stuff, driving for hundreds of meters and seeing at surface some really exciting looking rock. So it gave me a lot of energy too to see the reaction, because I knew it was good and that's why we acquired it. But to have other members of the team, and more importantly, engineers who really understand the bits of infrastructure and how this all kind of works together in a mining scenario, was really, really exciting. And it means that we need to talk about this asset more, get this story out, and really get to work on the ground, which is what we're kind of finalizing plans now to figure out what the next steps are. Because it's a serious asset and it needs to be moved forward in tandem with Pilot Mountain, because we have such a unique position here. We are exploring and developing probably one of the most key metals right now. I mean, it's incredible to see, a lot of new investors and high net worths and institutions, especially in the US, reach out. I mean, inbound leads saying, hey, this tungsten, we're hearing about this. What's the story here? We've been on our soapbox about tungsten for 4 years now. And even a year ago, very few people were listening. I know a lot of our UK investors certainly were, and it's been great to see them get involved with the story. But now this metal is going mainstream, and we are in, we believe, the pole position in the US to explore and develop for tungsten, which is super exciting. But also, not only are we exploring for one of the most important and key metals right now, but also we are in the top jurisdiction and probably the most enviable jurisdiction there is right now. The US, there's tailwinds galore. The government is really getting behind domestic mining. I've seen just this morning, they're looking at repealing or removing NEPA requirements completely, which will really fast track domestic projects. So I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. The new administration's been in office for less than a month, and we're seeing real time what this is going to mean for domestic mining projects, and specifically domestic defense metal projects. So it sounds so cliched, but right metal, right place, and the right time. And we are absolutely ecstatic. And to see the quality of the assets on real time with the team, their enthusiasm, you can probably tell by my tone, we're really excited about the position we're in. And now in Miami, north of, I think, probably 20 meetings over the next 4 days with government, with institutional investors, with high net worth investors here, almost all Americans. It's the perfect time to get this story out, because it's so topical and people really care about this stuff. And more importantly, it's national security. I mean, that's really what tungsten is now, with China announcing export restrictions on tungsten. We're watching the situation closely, but tariffs, export restrictions, at the end of the day, domestic sourced tungsten solves that. All of those issues go away if you are mining tungsten on U.S. soil, and that's what we're looking to do here at Guardian Metal.
Good. Well, it sounds like you've got a good story to tell investors there. You say it's a bit cliche, but right commodity, right jurisdiction at the right time as well. So good luck with those meetings. I'm sure you'll be pretty tired, but let's catch up after you come back and get a sense of some of those meetings you had and the interest, both from governments, institutions, and of course, private investors. But thank you very much for your time now. Oliver Friesen, CEO of Guardian Metal Resources.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.